Hey friends, welcome in. Welcome to the crazy mess that is my craft room. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening on this Tuesday night. And so we are in an event. It is Adventures in Journaling and it is hosted by Dusty Granny, which is Dusty Granny Crafts by Wendy. She is our hostess for this evening. So yay. I'm trying to find myself, make sure I get myself where I need to be. There is Miss Wendy. She's got me where I need to be. Now I just gotta get myself straight and we'll be good. So welcome in. Hopefully you are having a wonderful night. Let me know if you guys can hear me good, because I've been having some issues with my speaker. My speaker. Like, I can't hear people. So I've been having issues with that all day. And hubby is asleep because he has to go to work tonight, and he worked last night, so not like I can ask him to come and see what the heck's wrong. Hello there, Miss Mary and Miss Teresa. Miss Teresa, your winter journal earlier was really pretty. Hello there, Fergie. Welcome in. You were up before me. I was getting dinner and stuff ready, so I did not get a chance to catch your live, but I will definitely be watching the replay. So, sounds like my printer is done. Let me go grab that right quick. Because we'll be working with something. Hey there, Miss Sharon. Hello. Welcome in. I'm going to turn you down so you guys can see my table and hopefully see what it is that I'm working on. Let me scoot some of this stuff over. Alright, so I have some printables that I will be working with today, and as you can see, this one goes with this one, and this is to make a doll, and I think it would be really good if we can line them up to make the doll. So we're going to be doing some fussy cutting and creating this doll. So I am in an event coming up that is about Marie Antoinette, and so we're going to work on, I'm going to be working on some stuff that are themed, Marie Antoinette or the Rococo time period, super lavish, overspending, as we know. But most government does that. I found these on Etsy. That is where I found these ones. I have found a few images that I'll be using just off of Google searching, but for like printables and things like that, I've resorted to Etsy only because right now my brain is not functioning to do any myself. Hello there, Miss Joe. It is fun to see you too. How are you doing, my new friend? Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate it. So in this instance, the dress is blue, which I think is super cute. And I am so going to go like off the reservation, as you know, per my normal. I'm not going to stick to exactly what the printable says to do, or you know how it's intended to be used, but you know, would it be me if I didn't do that? So we're going to do that. But yeah, these ones, and if you want to, if you want the links for them, just let me know and I can send those to you, because they are super cute. And you know, anytime you can work with like a doll figure, I think is always a lot of fun. Amy was cutting and doing a bunch of pockets today, I saw. Like I said, I was having trouble. I couldn't hear, so I was going based off of like what I could see or what I could read. So, and we do have one more presenter, but if you've missed any of today's adventures in crafting presenters, please go to Dusty Granny's event group, watch everybody who's been on, because as always, inspiration is awesome. And you know, that is how we get inspired, is by seeing what others are creating. There's a little piece here, and I'm going to cut that out because it's meant to have like a little pleat there or something. I don't know. Okay. So my thoughts are, you know, can we build her on here? Am I? Cause I thought that Miss Stephanie and Mr. Gary were up after me from Crafting on a Budget. Unless I missed something in the chat. Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, wait a second. I was like, I've been trying to pay attention to the chat to make sure that, you know, I was doing it right. Okay, good. Well then, yes. So then that means that at 9 o'clock we are going Eastern time. I'm Eastern, y'all. So that at 9 o'clock Eastern time we are gonna go and see what Miss Stephanie will be doing today. You know, it's always fun to see the different levels of paper crafting that we have, and I enjoy it because I can learn from new and old crafters. You know, because sometimes the newer crafters are not set in their ways, so they are willing to try stuff that might be outside of the box. Hey there, Miss Jody. And so, you know, I like that because, you know, I might do something a certain way because that's how I've done it, and then I watch somebody and I'm like, oh, you know what, that actually might be better. So then I'll give it a try, you know. And a lot of times that comes from experimenting, and many times when we get into a craft, we tend to get stuck in a habit of doing things the way we do them, and you know, we forget that we still need to venture out and explore. You know, we still need to venture out, we still need to explore, play with those mediums, try something different. Somebody asked once in the chat, like, do you use, you know, which do you use more, printables or, you know, like actual like old like papers and stuff like that? I like both. I like both. Like in this case, you know, this is something very specific that I'm, working for, and so might be a little bit harder to come up with something. Could I come up with something? I'm sure. But hey, printable is easy, right? Hey there, Miss Amy. How are you? I hate that I couldn't hear anything that you were saying. Like I said, I couldn't hear anybody. I don't know what in the world is going on, but I couldn't hear anybody, and that just sucked. Hello there, Miss Patty. How are you, my friend? It is nice to see you, dear. Miss Bonnie, welcome, my friend. Hello, hello, hello. So we are in an event today. It is Adventures in Journaling, hosted by my friend Wendy from Dusty Granny's Crafts by Wendy. And her event group is Dusty Granny's event group. So if you get a chance, please, please, please join it. It is a free group. It is nice to see you too, my dear. It has been a minute. So, and today I want to take this printable that I literally just purchased, and I want to see what we can do with it. So there are arms and stuff, but look at that. It's got the little mask. You know what? I'm actually going to cut the handle of the mask off, and we're just going to attach the mask to her face, because I think that's going to look really cute, right? I know I'm fussy cutting. You know I'm not a big fan of it, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Fussy cutting is not my favorite, only because my hands go to hurting, and right now with the cold they are cramping more than usual. Well, it's not cramping, it's more of a stabbing pain right now, and that just comes from the nerves being overstimulated. But other than that, I'm fine. So yeah, I need to, honestly, I need to sit down and practice with mine a little bit more, because I got it for that reason, and I've been having some issues with, and then I just stopped using it. So I really do need to get back into playing with it and see if I can get it to work better with me. The other thing is, if you have a Cricut, and I didn't, like I said, I was just trying to print these off so that I could have them to work with y'all, since this is something I need to work on. If you print something, you can put it through the Cricut to do the, what is it, the print and cut. I'm not 100% sure how well that'll work with printables, because I had some issues, which is why I got the Brother Scan and Cut. I just haven't played with it. Pumpkin! Hey, friend! How are you? Pumpkin's one of my new friends from the late night crew. Did you get your stencil to work for you, dear? I know those things can be so tricky, and I just stopped using them, really. Honestly, I got to where with those types of stencils, I would find the ones that had like large open spaces in the design to where I could just go with one color and then come in and color it afterwards. Oh, okay. Well, see, I just need to play around with mine a little bit more then. Right now I gotta clear it off because I got a whole bunch of stuff sitting on it, so I couldn't even practice if I wanted to. Okay. So this is here. So while this is meant to be a tag, I want to go ahead and add the dress on her. And we've got her arms. So we can give her her arms. And then we can put the cute little mask on. And I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing the mask on so that way it'll start drying. So I'm gonna start doing that. How is you? How am I? I'm doing good. I'm doing alright. Been fighting headache and body pain since this darn weather decided to come in. She is a fancy lady with them long gloves. She's supposed to be Marie Antoinette. Or at least she's gonna be a version of her. So we shall see. Hey, Miss Elizabeth. Hello, dear. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in to all of my friends. Thank you so much for popping in. Okay, so we're going to put her mask on. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's put the dress down first. But before we put the dress down, let me get how blue do I need to be? Thank you, Miss Elizabeth. I appreciate it. I cannot take credit. I did find this on Etsy. But I am totally going off script with how you're supposed to put this together. Because you're supposed to like do the tag with the pocket, and then the doll is like a whole nother thing. And I'm like, no, I'm doing it all together. Because I gotta be a rebel. I gotta be different. And so right now I'm just gonna ink the side so that if there is any white left for me fussy cutting, that we don't see it. So that'll help with that. That's one of the biggest things that I like about inking, is that it helps cover up mistakes, like when you don't fussy cut properly. And then she's gonna be to about there. I keep on hearing banging. What in the world? If my kids were here and younger, I'd be wondering what they'd be up to, but now I gotta wonder what the cats are up to. Because they can be something else sometimes. I didn't get it to work. Oh no! my goodness. That's, you know what, I guess that is one of the reasons why you're better off sticking with, I know that like Chocatours and Magnolia are more expensive, but they are done really, really well. Because believe me, I am not gentle by no means, and I've scrubbed the bejeebers out of the ones I've had, and they've survived. I do give my husband the fact that he has wisdom in that sense, that sometimes you're better off paying for the more expensive stuff that you know is gonna work. But I'm sorry that that happened. I got so frustrated trying to do the very fine detail like what you were doing, so I just ended up like I said, I just would do the coloring in afterwards. So I'm not going to glue the hand part down, just the shoulder. Oh yeah, no, And the thing about with Amazon is that nowadays, you know, they I mean, they're a third-party seller, so they sell from who knows what. I mean, I've seen stuff on Amazon that you see on Temu and places like that. Just Amazon pricing. So you just gotta be very, very careful with that kind of stuff. You started making turmeric milk. Turmeric milk is, for one, it's very yummy. And yes, it is really good for inflammation. That is so true. Hello there, Fire Horse Art. How are you? I am chatting with my friends over on Facebook. We are multi-streaming from Facebook and also on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Really, she did. That's something else. Yeah, the paste is definitely going to be a good thing. I agree with that. Well, thank you for joining me from YouTube. I appreciate it. So, as we see, I left her hands open because my thoughts are, there's a big bow here, right? We could actually put like an actual physical bow. I think that would look really cool on that end. And it could look like she's holding the bow, or her hands are just laying on top of the bow. That way we can give it some dimension. That's my thoughts on that. Oh, you messed one up during Christmas time? Yeah, see, I've heard people talk about using acrylic paint, and the only thing, you know, they're not meant to be used with acrylic paint. Like, you would have to quickly put it on, and then you would have to quickly go and wash it off, and none of us are that quick. None of us are that quick. So there's this fan, which we could also put in her hands, which I think would be lovely. So I'm going to trim this off as well. And I try my best to move my paper and not so much. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. The thing is gonna be me making a bow. Y'all gonna end up laughing if I sit here trying to make a bow, cause I don't know. I have tried tutorials. I have tried following other friends. I just cannot get it to work. See, she can be holding a fan in one hand right there. That looks pretty cute. So, yeah, of course. Yeah, message me anytime. Anytime you'd like. Alright, so I do want to add some of my glossy accents, so that way that can start drying. And then I want to see if I have any flowers that I can add to this as well. Now this is how the printable is. That's how it printed, with the stripe, like the streaky like that. So that wasn't my printer. Not this time. It wasn't my printer this time. I promise, it wasn't my printer this time. So we're gonna try to get her eyes to be all glossied up. So we're gonna try to get this thing to function for me. Someday I won't have issues. When I figure that out, I will let you all know what the trick is for stuff not gooping up on you. Now, normally the masks are open, so the only thing that I'm trying to get my glossy accent on is on her actual eye, not the whole opening of the mask, okay? So just like, like normal, we're just trying to use the glossy accent just on the eyeball part. Nothing else. Okay, now it's gonna look like, it's not gonna look clear right now. If you guys can see that, it's not gonna look really clear until it dries, but that's just how glossy accents is, okay? So we gotta give it the time to dry for it to look really nice and pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out. And like I said, this is meant to go inside of this pocket, but I think I have something else in mind for it. But I'm still gonna cut it out just the way it is. And I like the idea of maybe turning this into a flap inside of something. So we're gonna work with that. I'll work with the idea that I'm gonna turn this into a flap. And it would really help if I could cut straight. But then again, I can't even cut straight even with my cutting thing, so, Alright, try to lift her up a little bit. I should have done this before I put her down, but I don't want to see the excess cream color if it's not necessary. And that way we can also go ahead and ink it as well. I don't know at the time what I need that you needed to wax the surface. Yeah, I learned about waxing the surface the hard way too. Believe me, because I brought it up and brought all the paint with it. So I learned real quick. And then the other thing is, you also, when you're using those stencils and you do wax, you don't want to over wax, because then you cause all kinds of other stuff. So by no means am I an expert, but I've made my share of messes for sure. Amy, did you make the pockets you were cutting up earlier, dear? Because, like I said, I couldn't hear what you were saying, so I had no clue what was going on. But I like the different patterns on them. They were really cool. Hey, Miss Alicia, how are you, my sweet friend? Thank you for popping in. I do appreciate it very much. How are you doing this evening? These prints, who came up with these prints? What is, cut the elements, let me look, because I still had it pulled up. Cornish Curio, Corniche, Curio, Curio, and they're on Etsy, and they're the ones who did these printables here. That is who I got them from. And like I said, I thought they were really cute, and they would work perfect for the Marie Antoinette theme train that I'll be on next week. I thought it would work out really, really good. You're trying to stay warm. Oh yeah, I hear you, Miss Alicia. It is really, really cold. Yes, that's it. That is it. Yes, you've got it. Thank you, Fire Horse. That's exactly it. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold so that I can do my I said I thought these were really pretty and they fit the theme perfectly. So I really like them, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna put this, I have these really cool file folders, and I think it's gonna look really pretty if I take one of those file folders and we turn it into a folio, and then we add these bits and pieces to it. Yes, of course. Of course, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, you know, I found these and I love being able to say where I find things from when I remember. And like I said, I just got these. So that was easy because I still had it pulled up on my PC. Now ask me that in about 6 months, I might not remember. Heck, I might not remember in a month. What are we talking about? This memory is not always the best. Got something falling. Alright, so this, alright, is supposed to be a pocket for that. But to be honest, I think that wouldn't fit there. Look at this. Let me grab it. I know there's a name for this design, but don't ask me what it is because I couldn't tell y'all. And it, you know, many times you can see this in like blues or reds or things of that nature. I don't know what it's called. What's it called? Can anybody tell me what this design is called? I know there's a name to it. Tulle. Black tulle. That's what it is. Black tulle. So this is a file folder, right? And we're actually going to use it to turn it into a folio so that we can add our item in there. Okay, so we're gonna start by cutting it. Right where it would normally bend, that's where we're gonna cut it. There we go. It is really pretty, isn't it, Miss Mary? Yeah, I think it's super cute. I know that the tulle design is like really big in certain things, so. Oh, she almost fits. Darn it. Almost. We're gonna have to trim it down just a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna pull, and we're going to turn this into a folio now. Okay, and to do that, we are going to get it to where we can fold it. So I am going to give myself a score, well, not a score line, but yeah, I guess it is a score line, so that I can fold this now nicely. And you can do this with any file folders that you have, like the manila ones, and you can paint them up, decorate them however you want. I love using file folders because they're cheap. You can find them, you can decorate them however you want. So yeah, they're relatively available. And sometimes you can find them with really pretty prints on them, like this one. Okay. And because I know ahead of time that I'm going to have to trim this down, because this is not going to fit, let me see how much am I going to have to trim. Okay. Alright, so we're going, I lost my fan. We're going to use my trimmer here to trim this down to hopefully get this as straight as possible, because you know, it's hard for me to cut things straight. But we shall try. Fingers crossed, right? I don't know what it is about. I think I might need a new blade. That might be part of the problem. But okay. Hey, handsome. Oh, great. Yay. Okay, so it's gonna fit. Perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Now the other thing is this going to fit, or do we need to resize this as well? Okay, looks like we're gonna have to resize that one as well. So just because a printable is a certain way does not mean that you cannot adjust it to whatever it is that you are working on. And sometimes we don't have the option to maybe resize it on the printer, but we can do it together. How you doing, handsome? Broccoli cheese soup. Yum. That does sound yummy. Okay, let's measure this and see if, so I'm gonna end up fitting it behind my doll, and that is totally okay with me, because that'll give us like a little hidden pocket behind our doll, so that's gonna look kind of cool. We just gotta get it to fit behind our doll. Okay, I kind of figured you were up. Kind of figure you were getting ready for work, puppy. Alright, one last try and then we can ink her. Yep. Right on the money. Okay, so let me ink these edges and then we're going to glue it down, because since I had to fold it, I lost where I inked on the side, so we're just going to re-ink it right quick so that it keeps everything is harmonious and it stays the same. And then we're going to get this all nice and glued in here. Okay. So again, thank you, Miss Wendy, for having me in your event. I really do appreciate it. I hope that everyone has had a wonderful and a good, blessed day as well. Hopefully you guys like this idea and try your own version of it. Say, I love using, again, the file folders. They are so versatile. You can do so much with them. But they are the easiest way to make a quick trifold. And you can also do it like this, where you have that on the inside. But because I actually have a design for the inside, I didn't want that. Okay, so let's try to pull off some of these extra hairs from where my thing did not want to cut right, because it's left me a whole bunch of fuzzies. Lots of paper fuzzies. We definitely don't like the paper fuzzies. I mean, if I'm doing very distressed, paper fuzzies is fine. But this is definitely not it. This is definitely not a very distressed looking item. It's supposed to be very posh. So I'm excited to see what Miss Stephanie will be doing again. She is our last presenter, so please go and check her out and see what she will be doing. Her and her husband are hilarious, so you definitely are going to want to check them out. It's always so much fun to watch them. He's normally reading the comments while she's crafting along, so you definitely don't want to miss it. And again, I want to thank Miss Wendy. And if you guys ever want to be part of journaling events, please reach out to Miss Wendy. Miss Amy, she's also in the comments. She also has events. I also host events, but we would love for you guys to just come and, you know, watch. And if you want to craft along, we'd love to have you. So we have a really fun event coming up in February. It is a mystery journaling event, so you definitely want to mark your calendars for that one. I don't know. Last I knew, she was on, but if she's sick, then I guess I am the last one. I don't know. I don't know. I am confused. I am confusion. Somebody needs to direct me into what's happening. Facebook events. Firehorse, they're on Facebook. That's mostly where we host our events, is over there. We do have several people that do like myself, and we multicast, but most of them are held over on Facebook. And if you'd like to come and join me over on Facebook, same name, Crafty Fox Creations by Tamara. That is how you can find me. Well, Miss Wendy, I need confirmation on what am I doing? Am I the last presenter? Because I did not know that she was sick. So I'm going to try and fold this, because remember I said this was going to turn into a flip. So we're going to fold it. And then I'm just going to trim off the extra that is on the back side here, because I definitely don't want to have that little extra there. And that way it can be yes, of course, no problem. I know there's a group that does events on Facebook, on YouTube. I do not have the ability yet to go live straight on YouTube. I can do it through multicasting, but I can't do it that way. So I've been thinking of joining and doing an event. They do one once a month, which sounds like fun. So I might be trying that. Thank you for tagging her, because like I said, now I was confused. Okay, so this is how we have it. Okay, you look at this, you open up. Ooh, ooh la la, look what we got. And then you flip her open, and then there is a spot here for us to put some of these little tag things that came along in the printables. So even though this was not technically meant to be for you know, to make it into like a trifold or anything, we made it into one. Yeah. So, and then so we have these little tags here, and then there's another little pocket right there. Let's see if this tag here will fit into it, or if it needs to be one of the smaller ones. So we shall see. Hi, handsome. You safe? Love you too. Be careful on the road. Okay, so we have this one, and now I want to trim off this pocket here and see if it should fit in there. Move you over. Let's move you over. And then this one is more in a pink and yellow tone than the blue tone, but I think it'll still look good. So we're going to try and get this to work. And then we'll cut out the little part here. There we go. Alright, and then same thing, we are going to fold these. And then I'm using my bone folder just to get it, you know, kind of as straight as possible. And then we're going to fold here. And then we'll do this one on this side and fold it. Now, once it's folded, let me see if this is going to fit. Okay, it will. That's good. Alright, so for this one, I'm actually going to want some pink. So I'll bring out my worn lipstick again, the one I used, it was last night? No, not last night. I used it recently is what I do to them, so. Alright, so we're gonna bring in and ink this up so it'll cover any of the white from the fussy cutting and help to cover up any of those imperfections. I'm gonna do the same over on this tag, and I don't even know why I do not like pointy paper. Pointy paper is more prone to give you a cut, so I do not like pointy papers. So no pointy papers, no pointy papers. Once I get off, I'm gonna go and sit down and I get to watch, if I am the last one, then I'll go watch Miss Fergie's replay with a slice of brownie. My daughter is keeping an eye on them because I put them in the oven before I hopped on. So it was her job to make sure they didn't burn. So hopefully she did her job. And they didn't burn because I have a taste for some brownies. And then my daughter put M&Ms in them, so that's gonna be yummy. Also made some blueberry muffins while I was making dinner, so those will be fun for breakfast. Y'all like to bake? Now, because this is like a replica of a card, I'm gonna leave it with its pointy ends, but I'm not too happy about it. I'm just letting y'all know. I know. Muffins and blueberry, you know, blueberry muffins and brownies, I know. Brownies is technically the dessert for our dinner. And like I said, the blueberry muffins will be yummy for breakfast tomorrow. Or like my daughter said, with a nice cup of tea, they would be yummy. So, we're gonna, let's add this one over here. We'll add this pocket like a little midways. Do you like to bake? Baking is so much fun, isn't it? Well, we had dinner while Miss Fergie was on. We ended up having mini quiche and salad, and that was yummy. That was very, very yummy. So about midway. You don't know what you're making? Like I said, yeah, we went ahead and already had ours. But it was good. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry. So we have this, which we can put in here. Let's go ahead and cut this other one out. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Alrighty, so I'm gonna hop off. I have not heard or a confirmation about, but from my understanding, Miss Stephanie should be on. So thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Hopefully you guys are inspired to pull your folders out. Look for those manila folders. Again, if you don't have one that already has a pretty print on it, you can decorate it in so many different ways. There's so many ways you can decorate your own. So thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it, Miss Wendy. And hopefully you guys like the idea of taking a little folder and turning it into a little trifold. And see, and our little paper doll became a little flip. So thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful night, and let's go watch Miss Stephanie. Bye.